Let's quickly talk about Crete Carrier Company. And the big question is it really worth it this year to even apply for a trucking job at Crete Carrier Company? And so this will be a review of the company. And so let me first give you an overview here. If you think about Crete, I want you to think about a very innovative trucking company. They have a great YouTube channel. They have they always post educational content. That's really fantastic and really professionally done, professionally mastered, all that kind of stuff. But is it really worth to consider? Is it really worth it to even apply for a trucking job at Crete? So let me first give you an overview here. So if you think about Crete, they've been around for nearly 6 decades. You're looking at 60 years. The company started in 1966. That's a lot of years. And so anytime I see a company that has been around for that long, it tells me two things. That number one, they have a proven track record, which Crete does. And number two, they must be doing something that basically allows them in terms of human capital to stay. In other words, they have a system that allows truckers, that allows their back office team to actually stay with them, right? Because if you have a high attrition rate in terms of employee, you can't really survive in the trucking industry. Okay, so that's really good. So there are two things that really are really positive for Crete. And so you have a low attrition rate and you have a proven track record. So this two translate into a high revenue base. Okay, so basically, the both are actually owned by the same. Schaffer and Crete are owned by the same company, and this is Hunt. Okay, Hunt Transportation. Okay, so this is really something to really think about. And by the way, no. Basically, Hunt is a subsidiary of Crete. Okay, but what I want to say here is that when I think about Crete and Schaffer and Hunt, I like to think of them as a conglomerate, as a trucking conglomerate that addresses various sectors of the economy. Okay, so that really adds an extra layer of solidity to Crete financially, but also operationally. And so this is actually Crete is one of the largest privately owned trucking companies in the country, and they offer a full range of transportation services to customers. So I want you to look right now on the screen. The company is actually headquartered in Nebraska, so they are in Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay, and so if you want to really reach out to them, the number is 1-800-996-4095. This is actually the number you want to call if you're interested in having in landing a trucking job at the company. And once you call the number, they will dispatch you to the right HR department. So let me talk to you about how to get hired at Crete. So if you think about the minimum hiring qualifications, they're pretty flexible. They're not really that different from what you have at other companies. Okay, so the minimum age is 22 years. Usually, companies in this sector they like 21 years, but Crete has bumped up a little bit the age bracket, the age range, so 22 years, and so you got to have a minimum of 1 year OTR. So on the road OTR experience. Class A CDL with TWIC, TWIC card, and Alabama COIL certificate. You have stable, verifiable work history. I mean, Crete wants to make sure that you're not like, you don't have any kind of random work pattern, professional pattern. So you have a very stable work history and acceptable driving record as reflected by MVR and PSP reports. They will check your PSP reports just to make sure that you're safe on that front. And no DUI or DWI convictions or positive drug screens or events in the past 5 years. 5 years, okay? So one thing I want to say is that there is an exception in terms of the 1 year OTR. So this may be made for company drivers on an individual basis based on a stable work history. Crete also accepts qualified student drivers who have successfully completed schooling at an approved school. So that's really good. And so there is no information about Crete hiring drivers with felonies. I think this is done on a case-by-case basis. Okay. But in terms of hiring drivers with a DUI, they do not want to have any drug or alcohol violations in the last 5 years. Okay. In terms of the hiring area, they hire from all 48 continental states. So they're not hiring in Alaska or Hawaii. Okay, and also if you think about the minimum age comparison, you have at Salmon, for instance, Salmon Trucking, the age is 25 years. At TMC, 23 years. At the Wagoners, 23 years. Swift, CRST, and Cassins is actually at 21 years. So in terms of the minimum experience required for Crete Carrier, they don't have any definite thresholds. So it goes from 0 months to 9 months, okay, and in some cases 12 months, okay. And by comparison, you have a AAA Cooper 24 months, and others like it really oscillates between 18 and 24 months. And also other carriers do not even ask for experience like Swift, Billman, Knight, CR England, Trans Am. Okay, so that's something to really think about. And the starting pay for solo drivers at Crete is around 35 cents per mile, 35 CPM. Okay, and so Crete is about decent because if you compare that to Maverick is at 55 CPM, Koch 36 CPM, Dylan about 24 to 45 CPM, Venture 24 to 41 CPM, ANR 24 to 45, Wilson 24 to 40 to 38 CPM. Okay, but cool thing is once you're hired at Crete, you actually have a bevy of benefits, a variety of benefits that come with your job as a trucker. Okay, for instance, you have a healthcare benefits, you have retirement benefits, you have also personal time. So personal time benefits in terms of vacation. So when I say healthcare benefits, basically Crete Carrier offers a health, dental, and vision insurance to drivers and their dependents. You can also set up healthcare and dependent care flexible spending accounts, so your FSAs or HSAs. So basic life insurance coverage and short-term disability coverage are automatically provided by Schaffer. Okay. In terms of retirement benefits, you have a 401k contribution and company paid profit share plan contribution. And in terms of personal time, you have vacation pay, you have military leave, and you have jury duty. So for jury duty, you can receive up to $100 per day for jury duty. For military leave, there is no need to use your vacation time. Crete will get you home for drill and training. Okay, so that's really good. And I mean, I love when trucking companies support the country that way. That's really fantastic. And in terms of vacation pay, you can receive paid vacation time based on your years of service. 1 year of service equals 1 week of paid vacation. 2 years of service equals 2 weeks of paid vacation. And 10 years or more of service equals 3 weeks paid vacation. So something that's pretty decent. So let's talk about Crete Carrier operations. I want to talk about the back office, the logistics, everything you need to know about Crete. Okay. So let's talk about the driving opportunities at Crete Carrier. So you have two types of driver types. You have solo and you also have own op lease. Okay. So that's really good. In terms of freight types, you have dry van, flatbed, and refrigerator. So if you're interested in driving reefer, if you want to do reefer, then Crete is actually a good place to apply. In terms of route types, you have local, regional, OTR, and dedicated. So that's kind of cool because it gives you flexibility here. In terms of the operating area, I think I've said this before, they operate all 48 contiguous states, so they're not in Hawaii and Alaska. And in terms of their terminal locations, you can see this on the screen here. Okay, so the home base is in Lincoln, Nebraska, but then they also are in Marietta, Georgia, Omaha, Nebraska. They are in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wilmer, Texas. They are actually in Phoenix, Arizona, in Indianapolis, Indiana, Greensboro, North Carolina, New Kingston, Pennsylvania, North Salt Lake, Utah. They have DeLand, Florida, Kansas City, this is in Missouri, okay, Columbus, Ohio, Lenoir City, That's Tennessee, and you have Cheyenne, that's Wyoming. Okay, so in terms of their yearly revenue, you were looking at a pretty financially healthy firm that actually makes about $1 billion in revenue. That's pretty good. I mean, of course, you can't really compare that to JB Hunt that does $6 billion. But the cool thing is that Crete is way above other players such as Western Express, 400, I mean, half a billion. PAM, about 400 million. Carter, 200 million. Wilson, 147 million. And JNP, 80 million. Their yearly miles are also going up big time year over year. Right now, they are at around 600 million miles. Okay, and by comparison, Swift is around 1.87 billion. TMC 210 million. Roll about the same. Jack Cooper 122 mil. You have Millis 81 and Ark Harbor 3 million. So if you think about Crete Carrier Company, what are the company policies? What are the corporate policies? First of all, let's talk about the home time options. So they have a daily, weekly, monthly. So you can choose which one works for you, okay? In terms of rider policy, you can take friends and family out on the open road with you with the company's no-cost rider policy. Authorized passenger are as follows. So as follows, you have a spouse, one child, stepchild, foster child, niece, nephew, or grandchild, 4 years of age or younger, provided that they are accompanied by the non-driving spouse or adult. You have one child, stepchild, foster child, niece, nephew, or grandchild, 5 to 18 years of age, without the non-driving spouse or adults. One adult, 19 years or older. Okay. So you also have the Crete tuition reimbursement. So this is something that they can improve on. Right now, they do not offer tuition reimbursement. Okay, but the company actually does allow pets, but no specific policy information was given. So this has to be on a case by case basis. Reach out to Crete and ask them questions, and they'll let you know. In terms of they have programs for military personnel. I love the programs for military personnel because, first of all, you have so once you have an honorable discharge, you are good to go. DD 214 with 2 years of active duty military experience in the last 5 years, 1 year of military semi-tractor trailer combination experience in the last 5 years, and you got to have a Class A CDL license. Okay, so as a driver, you will be compensated $600 a week during the 8-week training, and you will earn between 37 cents and 44 cents per practical mile after being released from the road training program. Okay, this is something to really think about. And also, a Crete Carrier actually they are constantly increasing their fleets, so this is really good. So when I say they are modernizing their fleet, let's talk about the number of trucks that they have. They have about 5,000 trucks. So if you think about fleet, think about 5,000 trucks. And by comparison, Swift actually has way more. Swift has about 5 times what Crete has. Swift is around 26,000 trucks. Wilson around 790, MTS 700, JBS 600, Jim Palmer 200. And Lynn 200 also. Okay, so you can see that again, Crete is a pretty top-notch player here. In terms of the trailers, what kind of how many trailers are we talking about? Crete has about 12,000, and by comparison, JB Hunt has 87,000, XPO has 33,000, ABF 20,000, Call Arc 2,000, CT 1,000, and Will Trans 300. Okay, so this tells you a little bit about the volume that the Crete drivers are actually are putting in. They're putting in every single day. In terms of the speed actually at Crete is about 60 to 65. Okay, so by comparison, Millis you have 70 miles per hour, Carter, 68 miles per hour. SRT, 65 miles per hour. Navajo, 65 miles per hour. Prime, 62 miles per hour. Schneider, 60 miles per hour. So something to really think about. So long story short, the point I'm trying to make here is that Crete is constantly sort of modernizing its fleet, okay, so that you can really be in the best condition to actually get things done. And by the way, one thing I want to say also is that in August 2012, Crete Carrier officially welcomed the 5 very special trucks into its newly launched Patriot fleet. The Black International ProStar tractors differ from the other 6,000 company trucks in a significant way. They are proudly decorated with the decals that honor the United States Armed Forces. So this is really good. You can see what is out there before you. That's the screenshot that I have that I showed you before, but I'm still showing you right now. This is really fantastic, really nice. I would say a piece of art. And the Patriot fleet trucks represent all of the veterans that have served and sacrificed for our freedoms, past and present. And Crete Carrier is honored to have added the Patriot fleet trucks to the fleet and proudly represent America's heroes. So, and every year, Crete Carrier will add new Patriot fleet trucks to the fleet. So this is really good. I love the whole idea. I love the whole concept. Also, let's talk about the tractor brands. So if you think about Crete Carrier, in terms of tractor brands, you have Crete, of course, you have Lone Star, you have Covenant, you have PGT, you have MBT, you have Gypsum. So this is a very good one. You have Darts, you have Roll, you have XPO, you have Interstate, you have USA Truck, and you have JB Hunts. Okay, that's kind of cool because it gives you some kind of flexibility, and that's really good. In terms of the transmission types that you have at Crete, you have standard transmissions, you have automatic, and you have a mix of both. So when I say standard transmissions, you have May, MTS, SRT, Prime, Covenant, and JB Hunt. For automatics, you have Koch, you have a Carter, you have Watkins Shepherd, you have Dillon, you have Everett, you have Maverick. And for a mix of both, you have a Melton, TMC, Navajo, Schneider, World Trains, and CRST. What about the APU policy? Let's talk quickly about APU policy. So Crete has trucks equipped with APUs. So for APU equipped, you have Ozark, you have a Prime, Jim Palmer, you have World Trains, you have Trimark, and you have Martin. Without APUs, you have Hub, Millis, Quality Distribution, you have Rush, you have Decker, you have Decker, and you have May. And for a mix of both, you have a KMB and TMC. So this is really good from an accountability point of view, but also from a flexibility point of view vis-a-vis the drivers. So in conclusion to this conversation, I spoke to you about Crete Carrier Company. This was a review about the firm. So I spoke about getting hired, okay, their operations, how much you're making, the driver benefits, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.